Hi guys, Asmo here and welcome to fifth and final part of our guide for quickly and efficiently leveling ED Trickster. The more smart way, a little bit more complicated way, but that's why I made a guide for this so that you can follow along. And in this episode we're going through Act 5, which is going to be final act of playing in a different setup than the actual ED Contagion setup. And in the next act, in the beginning of the next act, which is what I'm going to show at the end of this video, we're going to do the actual swap. So we do have gems leveling in our offhand, and we have there all of our active skill gems because that's the most important part. The support gems, if they're like a couple levels behind, it doesn't matter. You can still buy gems at close to your level from the original vendors, not from the Lily, but from the vendors in the acts that originally sell them. And the other gems, of course, that you want is like anything can fit, like Malevolence is, for example, a nice one to level. In the end, you basically want Essence Drain with Swift Affliction, Efficacy, and Controlled Destruction or Void Manipulation, like 4 of those, because you only gonna most likely have 4 length. Then you want Blight with Infused Channeling and Controlled Destruction, and then additionally you also have Void Manipulation Efficacy that can be added to that. And then also you're gonna have Contagion with Intensify and Increased AoE. Later on you can also add Arcane Surge to that if you remove it from the Flame Dash. And also you can have Item Rarity. I think I'm gonna make a separate video on the Item Rarity gem and how it works with Contagion. But you can also add that to Contagion, it does work. And then you also might want to have Despair, Flame Dash, Malevolence. You also might level Discipline in your offhand, as well as Shield Charge, Faster Attacks, and Fortify. Shield Charge I recommend if you are going to go especially for the Frenzy Charge way. If not, then the Flame Dash and Smoke Mine are still going to be good. This guy got blasted by the Pyroclast Mine. As you can see, it's still doing decent damage, and that's gonna carry us until the end of this act. And soon we also are going to be getting the Onslaught Flask. Basically, when you do Innocence, after that you can get Onslaught Flask, and this is like the earliest I would consider swapping to damage over time skills, because as you can see, Onslaught is still most of the time on the buffs that I have, because we're still killing monsters with Cold Snap and I'm still benefiting from Onslaught. So before getting the Onslaught Flask, I would not switch to just pure dot setup, just so they can still run a little bit faster. Another thing I wanted to mention is picking up wands. Make sure to pick up rare wands and also shields. Identify them if you find something with a lot of spell damage, extra attack speed, maybe extra cast speed, maybe some mana regen, things like that. And particularly if you find something with chaos damage over time multiplier, that's just gold. If you find that, then you're really set. That's the best thing you can get. Or I want chaos damage over time multiplier, and then you can even craft some percent spell damage, and you have a great wand. The attack speed on wand really helps, because if you're gonna be shield charging, you can actually shield charge with a wand now. So you can do that for this setup, and it's very, very comfortable. I definitely do like the shield charge way. Another thing that you want to consider is when you're at this part that, as you can see, I'm placing passives. I'm placing passives in a way that connect to my original starting point of the shadow. Once again, I'm like looping around, because I'm gonna be taking away the other passives that connect to the beginning of my passive tree. So in order to do that efficiently without spending too many regrets, I already need a second connection. So I'm already doing that now, so that when I regret the the spell damage, elemental damage points, I still have a connection. I don't need to like double reset and use twice as many regrets, right? Because then I would need to like take away points from somewhere else, put them to create another connection, and then take away points from the elemental part and then put them back again somewhere else. Instead, I just do half of that effort by just placing in advance the points that connect already back to my tree, so that I can just straight from there remove the ones I don't need, and continue taking the chaos nodes that we are very close to, that we are prepared. And you'll find the tree like before the transition and after transition, different stages of it, and path of building link is in the description as well. And half of this video probably is going to be Innocence fight, because this fight is really annoyingly long because of all the phases. And a good thing for this character is that it doesn't have to worry about too much of the proxy shields, because you can simply throw the mines into the proxy shields, and then as the mine is dealing damage, the source of damage is from inside of the proxy shield, so you're fine and you don't have to put your character inside of them. And same with ED Contagion. The source of the damage is the dot placed on the monster, so also it bypasses the proxy shield. All the chaos spells pretty much do that, all the dots do that. So even like Poison Prolif does that, which I found out recently playing a Cobra Lash Assassin, which I might make another video about. So we're quickly going right now, I think, to the Reliquary, right? Is the point where we get the, I think, Staff of Purity we got from the other place. Something we get from the Ossuary, I mean. The Ossuary gives us something here. The quest we're skipping here is going to be the quest for killing the guy on the square, right? It only gives you like a unique jewel that we don't need. The other quest for the unique jewel, for the chaos damage over time, for the chaos damage jewel, is definitely very useful. This one, the Spreading Rot, we've already got that. The Spreading Rot is what you want to pick up from Lani, and you're gonna put it close to here where I'm going right now. You're gonna see I'm gonna take 2 nodes to the bottom, like where the low life node is. That's where you're gonna put it, and you have exactly 40 intellect around it. As you can see, I left portal close to the middle of the square before going down, so that I can quickly return to that point without having to run there again. In the Reliquary, I've actually recently heard people talk about like, do you go first to the right side or first to the left side? I always first go to the right side. It's just how naturally it works for me, but I think it doesn't matter in this case, because you're going to actually go make like a loop around anyway, because we don't want to log out here. We're actually going to go to back to the waypoint, and then we're going to go to the town and pick up our portal, which is close to the entrance to the rooftop already. So now we just have a really short way. We're going up to the waypoint and straight to the Kitava fight pretty much. And this is where we put, right? This socket is where we put the Spreading Rod. I already put it there, even though it doesn't do shit for me now. I'm not dealing any chaos damage. I'm not using Blight yet, but like right after Kitava, pretty much I'm gonna be doing that. So I'm already doing that. You don't need all of the points for Kitava fight. It's a very easy fight with the Pyroclast Mine, because all of the targets are stationary. It's like the easiest fight possible for the Pyroclast Mine. That's why it doesn't matter if your damage is not strong at this point. The game favors actually the Pyroclast Mine very strongly in this fight, because you can just stack it on this boss and he never moves, and you just phase him instantly after he does one ability. And same thing with the Heart, you can nuke it very, very quickly and you don't need to worry about anything. Just spamming this on the Heart, killing everything around it. And after that we're gonna be switching. So for the swap, I'm gonna show exactly the gear I have in terms of all the links and colors and all the gems I put in it after the swap. I wasn't going for the shield charge yet, but soon after that I would be switching to shield charge, so that's an extra thing that's going to be missing from this character initially. A couple more phases of Kitava, and also another thing to do after this. You can see the plate time here. It's like 2 hours 24 minutes. I'm not a speedy boy. I'm not as fast as the racers, but the time is pretty good. If you're gonna be able to do this in like 2 hours and 30 minutes, like 2.5 hours for these 5 acts, that's a decent time, and it definitely is faster than if I was doing the ED Contagion from the very beginning, right? Because that's what you want to compare it to. You don't compare yourself to a speedrunner doing a different strategy. You compare yourself doing a certain strategy versus yourself doing a different strategy, right? And that's how you know if a strategy is good, right? Or you look at someone else doing two strategies. But the level of the player skill is important. And here you can see all the gear I have. This is Flame Dash with Arcane Surge. I also have Smoke Mine here. Then we have Contagion with increased area of effect and Intensify, Essence Drain, Void Manipulation, Control Destruction, and also Efficacy. And then we have Infused Channeling Blight with Control Destruction. I also have Lightning Golem and Malevolence. And to top it all off, you can also have, as you can see, I have a bunch of sockets empty where I could put Shield Charge, Fortify, faster attacks, and that would be something pretty easy to do. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, all you have left to do is just blast through the rest of the acts, progressing as if you were progressing normally with ED Contagion build. You can consider even going for something like Spell Slinger while you're just mostly clearing the zones without having to do too much like difficult single target fights. That's it. Hopefully this was helpful to you. It's like another way of going quickly to ED Contagion to higher levels, so that you have to so that you can like bypass the weak stage of ED Contagion where you have no damage compared to the other setup that benefits from the wand crafts. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.